half in the bag. A fucking goat can review movies better than these assholes.
Bonafide spastic fucking foot weirdo Quentin Tarantino is back. But more importantly, this is Tarantino's most foot-filled movie yet. You get Margot Robbie feet, you get Dakota Fanning feet, young feet, old feet, Manson girl feet. There's so many fucking feet. Oh, there's also some story about Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt's washed-up movie careers intersecting with Sharon Tate and the Manson family. Do we see Sharon Tate's feet? You fucking bet we do!
Spooky clowns scare me! Well, Jay, before we go watch this film, let's see the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Oh my God!
My mother always tells me to smile and put on a happy face.
Spooky clowns scare me!
We're gonna go see Terminator Dark Fate.
I thought that just came out, like last year, bombed.
No, Mr. Plinkett, that was Terminator Genesis. That bombed here, so they remade it. It's called Terminator Dark Fate.
Dark Fate?
Yeah, Dark Fate.
Dark Fate? Oh, wait, so what is that? Is that Terminator 6?
Yeah, technically this would be the 6th Terminator film, but in actuality it's Terminator 3.
What do you mean it's Terminator 3? I thought Terminator 3 was Terminator 3.
Well, there was a Terminator 3 called Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. And then there was a movie called Terminator Salvation, and then there was Genesis. But now they made this one, and this is actually a sequel to Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Epic. All of it. The Rise of Skywalker is a terrific finale that is just stuffed with so much of everything. Action, adventure, answers, humor, heart, love, and grit. I spent the entire second half with tears in my eyes. A wonderful way to end the Skywalker story.
I'm emotional, overwhelmed, surprised, shocked, and stunned. More than anything, I'm happy. Thanks for coming through one more time, Star Wars.
Oh my God. I am absolutely blown away. I have never been so satisfied by a film. This is the end of an era and a franchise that has defined my life. And this did it justice in a way I didn't imagine it could. You will cry.
Dr. Sleep is both an adaptation of the Stephen King novel and a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's 1980 film The Shining. The Stephen King novel is also a sequel to his other novel, The Shining, but The Shining book and The Shining movie are very, very different. And somehow Dr. Sleep is a sequel to both the book and the movie? Hey, remember that part in the Kubrick movie where Shelley Duvall walks past the room and a guy in a dog costume is giving a blowjob to some dude? What was that about?
It's Birds of Prey. I'm sorry, it's Parasite. The movie rednecks love to hate.
Out of everybody in the United States of the motherfucking America, how many people actually fucking seen Parasite? Can someone please raise your goddamn hand and tell me,
for the love of Christ, how many fucking people in the United States of motherfucking America saw Parasite?
I don't know what Parasite is.
Parasite is about a poor family that moves into a rich family's house with the intention of conning them for much needed cash. From South Korean director Bong Joon-ho, it's the first film to win Best Foreign Film.
It won Best Foreign Film. You know why? Because it's a goddamn foreign film.
I'm sorry, Best International Film and Best Picture at the Oscars. What wonderful non-political speeches the director gave.
After winning Best International Feature, I thought I was done for the day and was ready to relax.
At least he didn't act like Roberto Benigni.
A moment of joy, and I want to kiss everybody because you are the image of the joy. And he who kisses the joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise, said the poet. And this is wonderful to be here.
From Blumhouse, the producers of 3 hit horror films, The Purge, Happy Death Day, and Paranormal Activity, comes 100 terrible horror films you'll never want to watch. Why, it's the Blumhouse Party on Hulu, also known as Into the Dark series, or a TV show, or a collection of feature films. Either way, Jay and I have used a sophisticated computer to select 3 films to watch based on ratings. There's the best rated, the middle rated, and of course the worst, according to IMDb. Let's see what happened.
So Terminator 6 is the sequel to Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Well, then what is Terminator 3?
Well, Terminator 3 had John Connor in it, and Sarah Connor, the character, was...
Wait, that's John Connor in Terminator 3? But that's a different guy.
Yeah, by the time they made Terminator 3, Edward Furlong was too old and bloated, so they got a guy named Nick Stahl to replace him.
Oh, so that guy in Terminator 3 is also John Connor.
Yes, it's John Connor portrayed by a different actor. And so John Connor's off the grid, and he meets Claire Danes, who is a veterinarian, and they fall in love, but a lady Terminator is sent back in time to kill John Connor again, even though the future didn't happen. But somehow a lady Terminator came back through time, and another Arnold comes back to protect him.
Wait, there's a third Arnold?
It's another Arnold, but this time he's also good.
Glenn Danzig's directorial debut is a horror anthology that compiles stories from Danzig's line of comic books of the same name. Stories which focus on horror content that's often sexual and violent in nature, usually featuring scantily clad female protagonists. And it sucks! Well, Mike, we've reached that point of quarantine where you watch Rawhead Rex.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an important part of flattening the curve. Dr. Fauci's talked about it.
He has brought up Rawhead Rex.
Yes, it's his favorite film.
Nothing happens in this movie. I literally mean nothing. An assistant does her job and goes home. A movie that went nowhere from start to finish. Don't waste your money or time. You might as well just live stream a real assistant answering the phones for 90 minutes. It would be just as good of a movie. Very bad. Dry. No fucking lube. What the hell did I just watch? I expected a lot more based on the trailer. In the words of Trilly B, the biggest of the BTMBs, this movie is a gassy fart. I am a doctor working in a hospital ICU during the COVID pandemic. And having spent my one night off this week watching this, not only did I completely waste my time, but this was somehow the worst night of my week.
I was vaguely amused here and there. This is every bit an Adam Sandler movie. If you're going to watch this kind of movie, then you're going to watch this kind of movie. The Wrong Missy is like a comedic Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lauren Lapkus is the boulder.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't know what the
But
fuck
these
that
are good
means.
reviews. Yeah, these are good reviews.
The narrative is predictable, but the situations are outlandish and wacky enough to keep you invested. Ultimately, The Wrong Missy is yet another film of wacky, somewhat likable characters, all run through the sadistic wringer of comedy and a story that survives on a handful of over-the-top, cringeworthy moments. That's a positive review. Sandler has packaged far worse films for Netflix, and watching The Wrong Missy, it's easy to sit back and give in to the movie's it is what it isness.
That's what they said about Casablanca.
Oh, wait, what about that Arnold in the fourth one?
The Arnold in the fourth one would be a bad one, because that's Terminator Salvation.
So that's another bad Arnold.
Yes, well, he's only in it at the end, and it's a CGI Arnold.
And who's that guy that bad Arnold's trying to kill in the fourth one?
Yeah, Mr. Plinkett, try to follow along.
I'm trying to follow.
In Terminator Salvation, that takes place in the far future, where John Connor is currently leading the resistance.
Wait a minute, that's John Connor? But that's a different guy.
Yes, this time John Connor is portrayed by Christian Bale.
Batman?
Yeah, Batman. And we meet young Kyle Reese, played by Anton Yelchin.
Wait, that's Kyle Reese? But that's a different guy.
Yes, and in Terminator Salvation, Claire Danes is replaced by Bryce Dallas Howard. You may remember her from such hit films as Jurassic World and Jurassic World Park. The Vast of Night. In light of this new evidence, CDC recommends wearing cloth face coverings in public settings where other social distancing measures are difficult to maintain, i.e. grocery stores, pharmacies, especially in areas of significant community-based transmission. Practice good hygiene. Avoid social gatherings in groups of more than 10 people.
Wash your hands, especially after touching your genitals or other frequently used items or surfaces. Avoid touching your face, your partner's face, your grandma's face, or your grandma's vagina.
Aquaslash is thought to spread mainly through close contact from person to person. Some people without symptoms may be able to spread aquaslash. We are still learning about how aquaslash spreads and the severity of illness it causes. After discovering a mysterious artifact buried beneath the lunar surface, mankind sets off on a quest to find its origins with the help from intelligent supercomputer HAL 9000. Bill and Ted Face the Music. They didn't totally f*** it up!
I'm sorry. What?
I'm thinking of ending things.
What? We just started this VCR repair shop business 14 years ago. How could you? How am I ever going to find another person equally qualified to fix and or repair VCRs as good as you, Jay? I better start going to monster.com to look for applicants. VCR repair, I guess I should write person and not be sexist. Person. 0 results. I guess I'll go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn. VCR repair person. 0 results.
Oh no, Mike, I was talking about the motion picture I'm thinking of ending things.
Oh, right.
Also, I want to kill myself. Wonder Woman 1984 is the latest entry in the DC cinematic universe. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a sequel to Wonder Woman that ignores all that other stuff. The Joker movie's not a part of the DC universe, is it? Because that has Joaquin Phoenix and not Jared Leto. Do any of these movies fit together? Does this movie fit together? Too many storylines to keep track of. CGI cat lady. The Mandalorian overacting. Wonder Woman losing her powers, except for when she needs to use them, and then I guess she has them again. Magical wishing rocks. 1980s trying on clothes montages. Aerobics. Ghost rape. This movie's got everything! In Marvel Studios' action-packed spy thriller Synchronic, Natasha Romanoff, aka Synchronic, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became a Synchronic. Oh my god, oh my god.
Promising Young Woman and her grandpa used to be very close, but when Grandpa Jack moves in with the family, Promising Young Woman is forced to give up her most prized possession, her bedroom. Promising Young Woman will stop at nothing to get her room back, scheming with friends to devise a series of pranks to drive him out. However, Grandpa doesn't give up easily, and it turns into an all-out war between the two.
So Claire Danes isn't Claire Danes from Terminator 3, but she's a different Claire Danes in Terminator Salvation?
Right.
Okay, so then that happens in the future, and then we get to the next Terminator. I'm not clear what happens in the next Terminator at all.
Yeah, in Terminator Genesis, they send an Arnold back to 1984. Basically, it's like the original.
Oh, that's another Arnold?
Yeah, it's now it's the original bad Arnold.
Oh, so it's not another Arnold. It's the same Arnold. It's not
the
a different Arnold.
From T1, from Terminator 1.
Oh my God, my brain hurts.
And he raises Sarah Connor from being a little girl.
Wait, that's Sarah Connor?
Yes.
But that's a different girl.
Kyle Reese also comes back.
That's Kyle Reese?
That's Kyle Reese.
But that's a different guy.
It's a different guy. Michael Biehn would be way too old to play Kyle Reese. Original Arnold that got sent back to the 1970s to raise up young Sarah Connor. Him and Sarah Connor build a time machine in a sewer.
What?
Psycho Gorman has left active service. His peace is short-lived when Felix Leiter, an old friend from the CIA, turns up asking for help, leading Psycho Gorman on the trail of a mysterious villain armed with a dangerous new technology.
Nicolas Cage is playing kind of like the man with no name. He's passing through town. It's got a Western vibe. He doesn't talk through the whole movie. And the local townspeople, his tires go out on his car. They say, stay overnight in Willy's Wonderland, clean the place up, and we'll fix your car for free. So then he has to stay overnight with these evil animatronic characters who he very easily defeats in one scene after the other that is very repetitive and fucking boring and visually disgusting.
The Rise of Skywalker was like a butchered mess.
Will that be the next thing? Release I guess there is no other cut.
The Abrams cut?
Yeah, the theatrical cut's the Abrams cut, unfortunately.
The Rise of Skywalker was a butchered mess. Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League is an unbutchered mess.
That's true. That's true. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Best of the Worst.
No, this is not porn. Porn doesn't look like this. If you equate nudity with porn, you are immature. Godzilla vs. Kong is the most absurd movie that director Adam Wingard has ever made. It combines tragedy, comedy, science fiction, exploitation, and surrealism. Don't let the vulgar title fool you. Yes, there is an abundance of nudity, but there is also a bizarre mixture of concepts that make for quite an experimental film. See what can happen when creativity has to replace a big budget. America's director, Zack Snyder, is back. And no, it's not with a heavily re-edited version of a film he already shot. It's now a heavily re-edited version of a film he already shot. Why, it's Army of the Dead. Everything's come full circle for Zack and the Zombies, going way back to his first big movie, the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead. Although this time, it's no longer Milwaukee in ruins. It's Las Vegas. Zombies have taken over the city and a crack team to go inside, whatever. Kablamo!
After viewing a strangely familiar video nasty, Enid, a film censor, sets out to solve the past mystery of her sister's disappearance, embarking on a quest that dissolves the line between fiction and reality.
Well, Jay, I won't ask what you thought of this film. No one has to.
You don't know everything about me. I've lived a lot of lives.
Girls get it done. Well, girls and David Harbour get it done. Finally, the first Marvel movie focusing on a female character's backstory. Good thing they waited until after she died in Black Widow. And in case you're confused, this movie takes place right after Civil War, but before Infinity War. Scarlett Johansson plays super secret, uninjurable Natasha Romanoff. With the help from her non-family, she's on a quest to kill movie producer Martin Scorsese in his floating movie studio in the sky. Also, Black Widow has a sister. The girl from that movie where she pouts. What's it called? Also, Black Widow has a sister, or not sister, a fake sister. It's the girl from Midsommar. They have adventures. She never gets injured either. Now that's a strong female character.
The Suicide Squad is back! In the world's shortest wait time between a franchise reboot, or is it actually a sequel? Either way, this Suicide Squad doesn't feel like it was edited by an algorithm that's on the fritz. Harley Quinn's back. Some guy named Rick Flag's back. And James Gunn is back after being Twitter canceled.
Your mother, Angela, she's our patient.
What?
I've been out of touch with her for a very long time.
What? Hey, do you remember that game, The Sims? What if your mom was possessed by a demon that looked like a giant bird, and the only way you could contact her was through virtual reality game of The Sims? That's what this movie's about. It's called Demonic.
Malignant.
From visionary director James Wan, who never met a wide-angle lens he didn't love, comes Malignant, the worst studio movie of the year. Or maybe the best? Most divisive? The movie is a loving homage to crappy B-movies of the past. Or maybe that was an accident. I don't know. What is this? What is it?
From the director of District 9 and Elysium. I mean from the director of The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable. I mean from the director of The Conjuring and Insidious. It's Malignant. That's right, everyone. James Wan is back. And so is our lead character. Get it? The usually competent director has created a film that would make Tommy Wiseau blush. Direct to HBO Max from James Wan's newly created film company, It Sounded Good on Paper Films, comes a movie with a story so stupid, weird, and confusing, David Lynch understood it. If laughter were a cure to cancer, this film could cure itself.
That's pretty good too.
Dueling intros, everybody.
They discover that John Connor himself has now traveled through time.
Wait, that's John Connor? But that's a different guy.
Yes, John Connor is now played by Jason Clarke, who looks nothing like Christian Bale.
So John Connor is now a Terminator.
He's a super advanced human hybrid Terminator with nanobite technology in him.
Why did John Connor get in a time machine in the first place?
I don't remember.
His John Connor's solution to everything is to send more Arnolds back in time.
You think with all this...
He decides to go himself?
What?
What did you say? What was
your idea?
I'm saying John Connor's solution to every problem in this franchise has been to send Terminators back in time.
Why don't they all just go back in time?
Why don't they just go back to the time of dinosaurs? Wait, is that how Claire Danes ended up in Jurassic World?
Mr. Plinkett, this conversation's become far too confusing. In fact, I wish I could go back in time and not answer the phone.
What? I gotta go take my brain medicine so I can understand the Terminator franchise.
I hear you, brother.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Halloween Kills is the latest entry in the Michael Myers Choose Your Own Adventure franchise. In this thrilling and highly original new entry, Michael Myers murders a bunch of people on Halloween night. Wow. It's been 40 years.
40 years ago.
He's been haunting this town for 40 years.
40 years ago.
We've been haunted for 40 years.
40 years ago.
It started 40 years ago. For 40 years, I've waited for him to return. Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight.
He dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight.
We're gonna end this tonight.
And I'm the one that needs to kill it.
Michael will be stopped tonight. He's been waiting for tonight. Tonight. Evil dies tonight.
If they don't stop him tonight, maybe we'll find him tomorrow or next Halloween.
In the same week, William Shatner is launched into space on top of a giant penis.
Oh, Jesus.
His likeness in the form of Michael Myers is launched on a streaming service called Peacock. Coincidence? I think not. I recall a time when Marge Simpson once tried to explain what a coincidence was to Homer. She said,
Homer, it's just a coincidence. Like that guy named Anthony Michael Hall who stole your car stereo.
Hey, speaking of Homer Simpson, it's like he wrote this script.
I don't want you stalking anyone tonight.
Jamie Lee Curtis and her hospital bed star in Halloween Kills, a new horror film from director David Gordon Green, a director who has proven he's got the chops for comedy. I mean horror! This sequel to a remake of 2 failed reboots from 4 films erased from an alternate timeline has an all-star cast too. Horror legend Judy Greer returns as Karen. And Katie Holmes returns as Daughter. Also starring in the film is Danny McBride and Anthony Daniels as an offensive gay couple. Darlene Connor stars as the boyfriend. The old nurse from the first Halloween. The old sheriff from the first Halloween. Little unnamed girl from the first Halloween, and others as the angry mob. I wish I could say Halloween Kills thrills, but Halloween Kills sucks. When describing a horror movie to your friends and you have to say, it's kind of like Titanic meets It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, It's not a good sign.
Ghostbusters Afterlife is the latest entry in our continuing collective pop culture equivalent of the Chris Farley Show.
You remember in Something Wild when Melanie Griffith had you handcuffed to the bed? Remember that? Yeah. Remember when you were with the Beatles?
Remember Chris Farley? Do you remember the Ghostbusters? You love Ghostbusters, but more importantly, you love the idea of loving Ghostbusters. Remember Twinkies? Remember the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Remember the Nestle's Crunch Bar that Bill Murray handed Harold Ramis in a throwaway improvised gag? Remember Who You Gonna Call? Remember Gozer? Remember the Fireman's Pole?
Hey, does this pole still work?
Remember the Terror Dogs? Remember the Terror Dog statues? Remember the Terror Dog's arms ripping through a chair? Remember Ivo Shandor? Remember the stacked books?
You're right, no human being would stack books like this.
Remember Spores, Mold, and Fungus? Remember Revelation 6:12?
I remember Revelation 7:12.
Remember looking at map exposition? Remember main characters in jail? Remember the eyeball ghost toy from the cartoon? Remember There Is No Dana, Only Zool? Remember literally the entire third act of the first movie? I love the 80s. Hey, remember cocaine? Cocaine was one of the key creative ingredients in putting together the original, an ingredient that is sadly missing from Ghostbusters Afterlife, resulting in a movie aimed exclusively at babies and adult babies that think I Love Ghostbusters is a substitute for a real personality, because nostalgia is the new cocaine.
Everyone that has seen it says that they cry at the movie, so it should be an extremely successful comedy.
Hey, nostalgia fans, Neo and Trinity are back in Joe Dante's Matrix Resurrections. It's been about 20 years since the original Matrix film changed the landscape of movies forever by inspiring millions of frat guys to attempt to make the same movie because they had a video camera, a pair of sunglasses, and some plastic guns. Then they made 2 sequels. Now Hollywood says, what else we got? And Shazam! It's a new Matrix movie. But it's not exactly what you'd expect it to be. Now sit back, plug in, and listen to 2 barely literate Midwestern drunks talk about this movie that you won't remember in 2 weeks.
I remember this.
It's The Matrix Resurrections.
It's a shame the second movie was called Reloaded. That seems like a good title for a reboot.
That's terrific.
This is the new Bruce Willis movie.
Which one? Apex?
American Siege?
Out of Death?
Hard Kill?
Cosmic Sin?
Midnight in the Switchgrass?
Survive the Night?
Survive the Game?
Deadlock?
Breach?
Fortress?
Which one?
Which movie is it?
Look, guys, this whole conversation has made me tired. I need to go take a nap.
Well, Mike, what do you say we fire up the 127-inch TV and see what Bruce Willis has been up to?
We need to talk to you about the 4 dead girls.
You ever seen these girls on my watch?
My suspect.
That's yours, right? And it's all
The lighter that was found at the crime scene. We got motive, we got access.
Cops wanted to confirm your identity.
Miller has developed an exciting body of work in a short time, never a good sign, to deliver films that are commercial, socially relevant, and impactful that challenge both the eye and the mind.
Oh. And how does A Day to Die stack up in that department?
It's fucking terrible! Roland Emmerich's Moonfall is a movie no one noticed, but Moonfall will become an important footnote in movie history as the nail in the coffin of an entire genre of film, the silent ending of a very loud and noisy era. I'm speaking of a time when your family and friends dragged you to the movie theater on opening weekend of a new big-budget sci-fi disaster movie. The theater was crowded. The sounds of crunching and talking were heard until the film started. Then the noise of the new, dumb, loud Roland Emmerich film drowned it all out. For 2 hours plus, you watched divorced dads and shoehorned-in dim-witted side characters stumble through a poorly written film about one epic disaster or another. After a few trips to the bathroom, the movie was over, Everyone filed out of the theater having a shared experience of a loud, mind-numbing film. After dismal box office returns and an actual worldwide disaster, the COVID pandemic, only a smattering of people are returning to the movie theaters. It's now mostly a place for parents to have their kids babysat for a few hours by Spider-Man, Free Guy, or a new Disney product. Grown-ass adults watch movies at home, and young adults and teens watch 5-second TikTok videos on their phones. The 90s are long over. Ironically, one of the first films Roland Emmerich directed was a movie called Ghost Chase. Now he's the one chasing ghosts.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the 28th Marvel movie in 14 years. In addition to that, there's been 5 TV shows made for Disney Plus in the last 2 years. Hey, did you know that the James Bond franchise has been around for almost 60 years and there's been 27 movies in that time? Don't know why that popped into my head.
We finally reviewed a very much talked about movie, The Batman. I mean, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Michelle Yeoh stars as Evelyn, a lady who runs a laundromat and gets caught up in a dimension-jumping adventure to save herself and her family. It's a tale with a grand vision by the guys who made Swiss Army Men, as the film goes from the vastness of the universe all the way down to the simplest of human moments.
From the director of Bagul. It's a new kind of monster, Ethan Hawke. He drives around in a creepy child molester van and kidnaps children. And his character in the movie is pretty evil too. Taking place in the 1700s, Native American Aubrey Plaza plays Naru, a young Comanche woman that just wants to hunt. But the men in her tribe just want her to stay in the kitchen and make them a sandwich. But everything changes when a predator comes to Earth and starts hunting all the CGI animals. And then Naru's own tribe. But don't worry, Naru will be just fine at all times.
Girl Gets It Done. It's a new Predator movie, this time called Prey. From the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, Dan Trachtenberg brings us this new Predator prequel. It takes place in the 1700s, and the lead is a female Native American now. Great, another remake gender-swapping piece of propaganda made to appeal to the feminazis and the neo-matriarchy. This anti-male pro-woke piece of trash has ruined the legacy of Predator films. Wait, no, that was The Predator from 2018. Sorry, I take all that back. Spin Me Round is the new film from director Jeff Baena, whose previous works include Horse Girl, what's the movie with Aubrey Plaza and came out in 2017.
Oh, you already failed.
No, this is part of the process.
And
film? And Aubrey Plaza and Alison Brie.
The Little Hours?
The Little Hours and something else.
Life After Beth?
And
also with Aubrey Plaza?
Okay.
Joshi?
Joshi, yes, I've seen Joshi. So this is the new film from director Jeff Baena, and it stars Alison Brie, Aubrey Plaza, Fred Armisen, Tim Heidecker, Molly Shannon, Zach Woods, and a slew of other cast of people that are in the film. The film is a story about Alison Brie, who works at a chain Italian restaurant called Tuscan something. The Tuscan Sun, I don't know. It's a knockoff of Olive Garden. And she gets invited to go to a retreat as a manager. She's a manager. Lil Ray Howard is in it.
That's not his name, by the way. You called him that on the last episode.
What's his name?
It's like Lil Rel something? Because I saw there was some comment on the last episode.
I thought it was Lil Ray. Lil Ray Howard.
It's Lil Rel Howery.
Oh, boy.
Which is why, yeah, you glance at it, it looks like it says Lil Ray Howard.
Okay, I'm sorry. Lil Ray Howery.
Lil Rel.
Lil Rel Howery is in the film.
Look, guys. Nick's in the study working.
What is this, Clue? He's killing Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe?
And Alison Brie wins the prize as one of the managers to go to this retreat in Tuscany, Italy, for all the managers, nationwide managers of this terrible chain of Italian restaurants to go to some like culinary experience in Italy. And things go wild.
Nope is the latest film from Jordan Peele. This one's about aliens. Is it as good as Get Out? Nope. Is it as creepy as Us? Nope. Is it another step in Jordan Peele's transformation into M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, no.
Kinda, not really. It's Nope. There's my intro.
The Asylum presents Fantasy Dinosaur Force from Colin Neversmile Trevorrow, the director of The Book of Henry. He's back with another Jurassic World film. This time, Owen Thunderguns and his subjugated lady friend must find their daughter, 11, who they hide in a cabin in the woods because she's a human clone who was reproduced asexually in a lab by her mother who died of clone cancer. However, Owen and subjugated lady friend can't just sit still in that cabin and get real jobs. They've got to go on dino-saving adventures to show that they care about dinos. Oh, and dinosaurs are all over the planet. But people still go out living their lives, going to drive-in movie theaters and walking around in the park where dinos can eat them. Did I mention that? The fact that dinos are all over the planet brings out the best and the worst in people. However, old friends Dr. Ellie Sattler, Dr. Alan Grant, and Dr. Jeff Goldblum are on a separate mission to find out why Hank Scorpio and the Globex Corporation have created giant locusts that terrorize children. Would you like to hear the IMDb description real quick?
Sure.
4 years after the destruction of Isla Nublar, Biosyn operatives attempt to track down Maisie Lockwood while Dr. Ellie Sattler investigates a genetically engineered swarm of giant insects. Not a once-a mention of a dinosaur in the IMDb description. Guns N' Roses present Thor, Love and Thunder, aka Thor 4, More Thor, starring Natalie Portman as Thor. In this newest Thor film...
Well, you're right.
Tom Cruise returns as the character of Top Gun. The first film came out 62 years ago and had a homoerotic volleyball scene. This new film is updated for a hip new audience by having a homoerotic football scene. Oh, and there's ladies now, so it's not quite as homoerotic, unfortunately. The movie also has a soundtrack filled with dad rock, and it's like the 5th highest grossing movie of all time. In the film, Tom Gunn has to teach a class of pilots how to fly their planes more betterer and bomb a lunchbox at the base of a mountain valley. It's a dangerous and complicated flight path with little chance of survival. Hey, don't drones exist now? Halloween Ends ruins the mythology of the Halloween franchise by barely having Michael Myers in it. It is the worst Halloween movie since Halloween Kills ruined the mythology of the franchise with that Evil Dies Tonight nonsense.
Evil dies tonight!
Evil dies tonight!
Which is the worst Halloween movie since Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 ruined the mythology of the franchise by having a metaphorical white horse and even having Michael Myers talk. Which is the worst Halloween movie since Rob Zombie's Halloween gave Michael Myers a white trash backstory and mommy issues. Which is the worst Halloween movie since Halloween Resurrection ruined the mythology of the franchise by having Michael Myers get his ass kicked by Busta Rhymes.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Which is the worst Halloween movie since Halloween 6 ruined the mythology of the franchise with that Cult of Thorn BS. What were you thinking, Paul Rudd? Which is the worst Halloween movie since Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, ruined the mythology of the franchise by not having Michael Myers even in it. Bring back Michael Myers, we need to see him do the same shit over and over and over again. Which is the worst Halloween movie since Halloween 2, ruined the mythology of the franchise by making Michael Myers and Laurie Strode be brother and sister, thus eliminating the mystique of Michael as a motiveless monster. What a franchise, what a legacy. John Carpenter is spinning in his grave. Snowfalls.
Yes.
It's a title that works on so many levels because snow falls from the sky and they go to the town of Snowfalls in the film.
It works on many levels, mainly two. Snowfalls, aka some Zoomers can't handle a little cold.
That was the biggest thing.
Wait, shut up, I've got an intro.
Oh my God.
Look out, idiots. It's Snowfalls, a movie released this year that you probably haven't or will never see. 5 young people inexplicably go to a remote cabin in the woods to quietly celebrate New Year's Eve. As most young people in their 20s do. That's when disaster strikes. A huge epic snowstorm suddenly shows up out of nowhere because it's the 1890s and nobody has a cell phone that says there's a giant snowstorm coming.
You can't predict these things.
And you don't look this information up when traveling to a remote cabin.
In the middle of nowhere, yeah.
Then they lose power. They also lose their minds. And the actors lose their dignity by appearing in this boring trash. Why are we reviewing this film? Well, 'cause fuck this year. A Knock at the Cabin Fever in the Woods is the newest film from M. Night Shyamalan. Something happened in the cabin in the woods that I can't remember because it's been 3 months since I watched the movie. The joke's on you, idiots! Cocaine Bear is the greatest scam in all of movie history. A film created with the sole purpose of viral marketing, casting friends in overpaid roles, and making a quick shit movie where all the funny parts are in the trailer. But wait, you say, isn't that every movie? Yeah! With help from Princess Peach, Mario gets ready to square off against the evil dead to stop his plans from conquering the world. And the new film, the Super Mario Brothers Evil Dead Rise movie, rated X.
It's the movie YouTube commenters are raving about. Will Simmons says, did this already come out? AB3 says, why is this not showing at any theaters or streaming anywhere? Worrywart says, yeah, nah. And of course, who can forget Los Ravaso 007, who says, I tried to watch this movie, and it was just horrible, the worstiest movie out there, after that Cleopatra Black wannabe. I don't know what that's in reference to.
Well, we're sitting in the Black Void.
That must mean a...
Stop interrupting me!
Indiana Jones and the Diaper of Destiny is the 5th and last Indiana Jones film. Who'd have thunk? I'd lived to 2023 to see a fucking 5th Indiana Jones film with an 87-year-old Harrison Ford.
Nobody's gonna believe it.
But nevertheless, here we are, and we saw it. This film is set in 1969, and Indiana Jones is off on an adventure to stop Nazi time travelers. You heard that right. I tell you, if good old Walt Disney knew that someday, far in the future, his little company would be making a big action movie about a man who kills Nazis, he'd be appalled. Today, we celebrate an actor you probably have seen in something before, but may not know by name or even by face. Today, we celebrate an American icon, Kyle Gallner.
I'm sorry, what?
He's most well known for his role in the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street reboot and for the TV series Veronica Mars, and recently for his roles in Scream and Smile.
So put the question
in the answer.
in the answer.
Mr. Gallner's career as an actor is ever evolving, though. From many one-off roles in movies and TV shows, he finally seems to have found a good niche for himself, playing sullen, often moody, and more darker characters in smaller, performance-driven films. So get ready, kids. It's time for the ultimate Kyle Gallner triple feature spectacular.
What are we doing?
It's The Exorcist Believer from Master of Horror David Gordon Green, the director of Pineapple Express.
Your dick, my mouth.
Your Highness.
He wants us to jerk him off.
Just punch the tip and twist it.
And the sitter.
Slater.
Oh, it's not me. It was me. I sharted.
This film is the long-anticipated legacy sequel to one of the most famous movies of all time, Abby. No, I'm just kidding. Abby was a blaxploitation ripoff of The Exorcist that copied the original movie so closely that it was famously sued by Warner Brothers and pulled from theaters. It's somehow still more original than Exorcist Believer, whereas the original 1973 Exorcist was about a 12-year-old girl that gets possessed by a demon. Believer's brilliant move is that this time, it's two 12-year-old girls that get possessed by a demon. I'm seeing double here. 4 Pazuzus?
The strange and sort of nonsensical It's a Wonderful Knife plays as if someone asked artificial intelligence to write a horror comedy that mixes It's a Wonderful Life and Scream, with a dash of Back to the Future too. But not only that, have it made by embarrassingly woke Canadians from another planet.
What's the matter?
You never give women gifts related to their bodies.
It's never okay.
How can the actors and filmmakers be both Canadian and from another planet, you may ask? Well, watch It's a Wonderful Knife and it'll all make sense. The strange and sort of nonsensical There's Something in the Barn plays as if someone asked artificial intelligence to write a horror comedy that mixes Gremlins and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Then set it in Norway and add some garden gnomes. Enter.
Thanksgiving is the latest film from Eli Roth, who used to make horror movies before taking an extended break to produce the most terrible trash reality shows you've never seen, like A Ghost Ruined My Life and My Possessed Pet. Roth's first film was Cabin Fever, which was inspired by 70s grindhouse movies, but much stupider. He followed that up with the Hostel films, which were inspired by the early 2000s Asian extreme films, but much stupider. Then he made Green Inferno, which was inspired by the grotesque Italian cannibal subgenre, but much, much stupider. And now he's back with Thanksgiving, which appears to be heavily inspired by Scream, but much stupider.
I've been waiting 40 years for this. They called themselves Ghostbusters. According to these hacks, they saved the world. No eyewitnesses. No eyewitnesses. No eyewitnesses. No eyewitnesses.
On this episode, we discuss Longlegs, from Oz Perkins, the co-star of Quigley.
And what about the really nice move you just made on the briefcase?
When dogs have to go, they go quick. And I hurt my knee, lifting my leg to pee. It's not easy being a dog.
Longlegs is a new film about a creepy, intimidating psychopath. And no, I'm not talking about Gary Busey. The film has been widely praised as the scariest horror film in decades and an absolute must-see. We also discuss Arcadian, which is another movie that exists.
That's not helping.
Do you still say your prayers? Number ones?
Made nice with me. But you didn't.
Hugh Jackman is back as the Wolverine. That's a genuine typo. I can prove it here.
Wait, is it a typo in that you wanted the joke to be Hugh Jackman, or did you take it right on the computer and then take a screenshot of what you wrote?
Because the printer wasn't working. It's called technology improvisation, Jay. Yes. I had to.
I'm so embarrassed to be sitting next to you right now.
Look. Hugh Jackman is back as the Wolverine in Deadpool 3, a.k.a. Deadpool and Wolverine, or Wolverine and Deadpool?
Oh, it's Deadpool and Wolverine, baby.
Oh, he gets the top billing.
He's got to get top billing.
The team up for the ages. Ryan Reynolds is back as the sassy, flamboyant, smart-mouthed Wade Wilson. And even though Wolverine died in Logan, Marvel has introduced the multiverse, so now we can bring back any character we want. But hey, fuck it. It's all in good fun. Or is it? Now, do the hardcore Marvel fans hate this kind of stuff? I have a feeling if Star Wars made a movie that was filled with swears and fourth wall breaking, all those Star Wars fans would really be mad about it. This is a genuine question I have for you. Oh shit, I forgot I'm typing the intro and not Finally! The elusive, congealed form of human embarrassment has been captured on film in the movie Borderlands by filmmaker Eli Roth. Or is this a Zack Snyder movie? I don't know who made this. Elderly comedian Cate Blanchett stars as Lilith in this video game adaptation made by Sony Pictures. Or was it Lionsgate? Wait, aren't all Lionsgate movies straight to Redbox? Is Redbox still in business? The movie also stars midget billionaire comedian Kevin Hart as Shooting Guns Man. A large man stars as Punch Things Man. A girl throws bombs as Throwing Bombs Kid. And Jack Black stars as annoying movie sidekick robot that's so annoying I saw Jar Jar Binks walk out of the theater. An elderly poop yogurt saleswoman, Jamie Lynn Curtis, is also in the film as elderly poop yogurt saleswoman scientist exposition grandma, who has a difficult time killing Michael Myers, but can't seem to kill her own career. This movie was long and no one showed up to it.